All right, welcome back for another great episode of PFREI. I'm your host, Fuquan Bilal, and today I have a special guest, I have a very special guest. Actually, we're in a mastermind together, and I asked Glenn to be a guest in the podcast because he's doing a real estate investment that a lot of people, where I'm at in New Jersey, of course, there's no way to put these things, but he's doing real estate. So today we're going to talk about real estate, and we have Glenn Stromberg. Glenn began his career in 1982. He quickly became the top sales manager for a mobile home dealership. Now, he has over 37 years in the mobile home park industry. He developed mobile home subdivisions, owned mobile home park, owned an owner-operated mobile home sales center, and bought, sold, leased single-family homes. Today, Glenn invests in the most profitably venture to date is double-wide mobile homes on land. Now, Glenn has completed thousands of mobile home deals in his career and is excited to have the opportunity to share his legacy and valuable knowledge with you. So I didn't screw that up, but still, a lot of great information there. Let's talk about real estate. Well, the first question I always ask the guests is, why are you passionate for real estate investment? I know you do a different type of real estate, very profitable, double-digit yields. Like, until I met you, I've heard about it, but then, we run in the same circles. I met you, had a chance to understand a little bit more about your business, and I was just like, wow, this is something I didn't even think about doing. There's so many different facets in real estate. So why are you passionate about real estate investing?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate it, and it's great to be here. And you're a good man, I tell you that. So
appreciate it.
But yeah, when I was young, I remember I read when I was in college, and that people create wealth two ways: having their own business or real estate. So I was always fascinated with real estate, right? Making money while you're sleeping, cash flow. That always had my attention. That's why I'm passionate about it. That's why I love it. And obviously I've got kind of a specialty niche that most people don't know about or understand, which we'll talk about. But that was I wanted to make money when I was sleeping. That's what I wanted to do.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the real estate. So this is mobile home parks. I came close, because buying alternative assets, I buy a lot of seconds and firsts, and someone brought me a deal with some paper, but it was mobile home parks, and I didn't understand it. I thought it was a great deal. It was priced right. It was priced for the pennies. But I found out that it didn't come with the land. It was actually only the vehicles. Those are considered vehicles, I guess, that they're selling. So your strategy is, do you own the land that these mobile home parks are on? Correct, right?
Yes, sir. And mobile home parks is not the right term for what I do. Okay.
Okay.
Mobile home parks are normally it can be 50, 100 spaces or more, where they line up single wides usually, and they rent the spaces, and those are personal property mobile homes, right? That is not what I do. We buy existing double wide manufactured homes on land. They're usually 1,400 to 2,200 square feet.
Wow.
They're normally on a half an acre to an acre of land. We're doing it in 5 states right now: in Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. And I like to say it's the best kept secret in real estate investing, and here's why. Okay, whenever you say the word mobile home, manufactured home, most people, I ask this question when I do public speaking, and I show an old picture of a metal-sided single wide with tires on the roof, and I always ask, is that what you think? Is that what you think of mobile homes? People go, 80% go, yeah, and they have no idea how nice they are. In 1990, that was about the point where the manufacturing plants they really upped their game. And true story, my dad was a mason. He's retired now, but he was a mason contractor and a builder in Chicago. He came and looked at about 15 of my properties, and he looked at me and he goes, "These are built better than the track houses in Chicago." I know. I told you they're nice, And so they have virtually every amenity you could think of. Plus they're on land, right? A lot of families prefer to have a half an acre to an acre of land for a place for their kids to play. And so it's really, and everything that I do, it's real estate. It has a deed of trust or a mortgage on it. Just how the process works. When when they deliver a manufactured home to the land, it's a personal property, but it's just a title company function of tying the two together, making them real estate. It's just that simple. And people always ask me, well, don't mobile homes depreciate? Well, the answer is no, is yes. If it's a personal property mobile home, it'll depreciate just like a car, right? But properties that I bought in Texas in 2012, 2013 have more than doubled because our market's gone up, and it goes up and down with the single family market. So we have the most affordable housing, and they appreciate, and they're great investments. Our returns are higher than the single family guys. That's why we love what we do.
So let me ask you this: as far as these types of homes, when you have a tenant, now walk me through a scenario. You're taking down 1, 2, or 5 at a time. You're going in and upgrading them, renovating them out, and then are you renting them, or are you doing like a seller carryback and creating a note, or are you doing both? Like, what is the strategy? How do you derive the income from it?
Our primary strategy is this. What you said, we buy the home, we fix it up like new. Okay, we never move nothing. The home is already there, just like a single family home. We're buying the existing home that's on the land, right? It's a package, right? So they are real estate, and we put new air conditioning, new appliances, new carpet paint. We make it look like new, okay? For 2 reasons. Because yes, we property manage it. We have a full-time property management company. We keep about 30% of them for ourselves. We bring private lenders in as a lien holder, as a lien holder, and they usually make double-digit returns on that. And then we turnkey about 70% of them to our investors, and so they love it because they're totally passive. They don't have to do anything. We do everything for them. We buy it, fix it up, screen the tenant, get the tenant in there. We are starting to do some in the seller finance space too. We have that option available in the seller finance space. Occasionally we'll buy one, fix and flip it because there's a ton of profit in the deal. We'll do that. But our primary model is the rental business. And here's why: because I do want to hold it for a period of time to capture the appreciation. I like to say it's an inflation hedge. I've heard it said milk, eggs, bread, butter, and real estate all go up over time, and that's true, right? So it's kind of an inflation hedge, and you capture the upside appreciation. Like if I would have sold all those homes on notes back in 2012, I'd have missed a whole bunch of equity and appreciation. So that's kind of why we do what we do.
So majority of them, you buy in the whole. Some more light in here. You guys buy in whole, rent them out, and then turnkey them to passive investors. And then some of them you flip. That's a small percentage of the ones you flip, the ones that you capture that appreciation in?
Yeah, the flip ones, we probably bought it at such a discount, and there's so much spread in it to where, yeah, we'll flip one once in a while, but not very often. Our primary model is to turnkey them to our investors, and because we look at it, we can create a real win-win. We get them great returns. We make our money on it, and it moves really fast. There's no real estate sign in front of the house. There's no time period, no hard money involved, stuff like that. So
how is financing on that for a traditional homeowner to go and get financing on this type of product? Is it readily available? Is there a special type of lender they have to go to get financing for this type of asset?
Yeah, the good question. An owner occupant could get regular FHA financing, same as a single family house. It qualifies for that. Now, investors a little bit tougher because our price points are so small. It's like our properties are $50,000 to $70,000 for the most part. Banks don't want to mess with anything under $100,000. But yes, we do have a couple of people that are doing leverage on them. The vast majority of my investors are accredited investors that pay cash for them. That's the vast majority of it. But there are some lending some leverage opportunities out there for investors.
Interesting. Now, over your 37 years in doing this, you've accumulated a lot of knowledge, and I've seen you at different trade shows offering a coaching program to help people learn this business and kind of add this as a tool in their toolbox. Let's talk a little bit about that. You're still doing some of that, right?
Absolutely. And here's why I did it. mentoring young people is something I've always been passionate about. I think that's something that, I looked up one day and I said, wow, I'm really a lucky guy. I've had great mentors in my life, and, and so forth. And so it's something I'm passionate about. And what I'm seeing and hearing all over the country when, you and I are in mastermind groups together, and we travel in the same circles, like you said. The single family home business right now, guys are getting squeezed in a lot of ways, right? They're getting, it's the margins keep shrinking. They keep shrinking. It's getting tougher and tougher. And our asset class, because of the lack of competition, there's just such an opportunity there. And we're really able to help people, to transition because our stuff is way easier too. We don't have foundation problems. We don't even have to pull permits. We're out in the counties, right? So we're doing lipstick, right? We're doing carpet paint. Just that there's an electrical inspection, of course, but we don't have to go through this all the permit stuff and the brain damage that a lot of guys have to do. So our deal, when they hear that we're in and out of the house in probably 2 to 3 weeks, they're like, "What?" Because sometimes I hear 8 months, a year and a half. I hear crazy stuff like that. So it was a passion of mine. It was hopefully that's going to be my legacy to where I would be able to help a lot of people. And so yeah. And if any of your listeners are interested, they can just go to mobilevested. I think it's behindme.com. And we've got some information on it there and so forth. And but yeah, we're wanting to change lives. That's what we're wanting to do. So
that's awesome, man. Yeah, I get torn between it also, running a day-to-day business and also, wanting to bring people up another level and help them out and add value to them, sharing your knowledge. That's what it's all about, right? The impact that you can create.
Absolutely.
The lonely king, as they say.
Yeah.
You want to really help others get to the next level. So I definitely wanted to get more information on that for the listeners to find out more information. So let's say if I'm new getting started in this business, like, I like the price point is low. You said the average purchase price is $50,000, $60,000. If I wanted to get into the business and let me ask this question first. Any Airbnb happening with these?
Funny you asked that. We are putting our first one out there as Airbnb right now. And
okay.
We really are, and yeah, the pro forma on it with now we're not going to manage those ourselves. We're going to find people who are experts in that space, right? But if it rents out like he says it's going to, it's 3 times the long-term rent. So yeah, we're getting into that space. We're doing it. So
that's awesome. That went off in my head as I was asking the question because I'm thinking I'm coming as an investor. It's a $50,000 investment. I can leverage a loan from a private lender or a small bank, a small down payment, and then I can Airbnb it.
Absolutely.
Arbitrage.
There's so many opportunities out there because of the price point. Absolutely. And
that's like the average mortgage or something like that would be like $400 or $500 if that. And what are these things rent for?
Well, I tell you what, like, the positive cash flow on these things, after, like, if on the typical deal we do, if we take a note, if we do a note on it, right, with our investor, after taxes, insurance, and property management, we're getting $400 to $500 a month. In Texas here, they rent for the typical rent is probably $1,200, $1,300. Yeah, now awesome. The entry point's a little bit higher in Texas, probably 80,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. But in the Carolinas, Georgia, Virginia, like I said, 50 to 70, they're going to rent for probably $900 a month. And same thing, we're going to have 400 plus cash flow going in. So,
wow. So, what would you have to say for somebody who's new getting there? What would be the biggest risks that they should look out for? Because a lot of people like to go online and watch these YouTube videos and do it yourself instead of connecting with somebody like yourself and be a mentor. What's the biggest risk that you could share with somebody investing in this type of asset?
Without sounding self-serving, okay, because I don't mean to do that, but I really believe this when I mentor young people, and this is not just for my stuff, this is for anything in life. I believe that if you go and find somebody who's where you want to be, right, and go figure out how he or she did it, you will cut 10 years off your growth cycle, right? You'll get there way faster than if you try to do it yourself. I wasn't smart enough to do that when I was younger. I fortunately I did have good mentors in my life, but I did make some big mistakes when I was young. I made some bad deals by jumping out there, not knowing what I was doing. So, yeah, I believe getting a coach, a mentor, will get you where you want to go so much faster. It's not even funny. That's my take. No matter what you want to do in life, that's what I think.
So going into 2020, we both just left a mastermind, and the theme was the big shift 2020. Going into 2020, what is the biggest challenge you're facing? You know, we all have our challenges. A lot of people like to be on social media, making it seem like everything is perfect, everything is good, they're making all this money. You know, sometimes I have challenges with scalability. You know, we grow too fast in certain things. We have to back up a step and reprocess it and move forward so we can grow even bigger. But what is the biggest challenge you're facing now going into 2020, something that you need to work on yourself or your company in order to get to that next level?
Yeah, great question, by the way. We built our team the last 2 years. We have 10 employees now, and we built our team to handle the deal flow we have right now, which is 10 to 15 deals a month. That's what we're doing currently. And we see an opportunity where we can take this thing. There's a lot of places on our heat map we could take it to. And so my biggest challenge is probably, and it's kind of what I'm going to sit down and go through with the goals and so forth, because things are going great right now. You know, if we do want to scale up, what are we going to need to do that? That's going to be the challenge. And if I should scale up, that's something I'm looking at that I consider a challenge, a good challenge, but it's a challenge.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, a lot of people, you know, they just think about the growth part, but not, you know, what goes into that. And there's a lot of, you know, stress, a lot of pain, a lot of different things. So what we try to do is go back and say, okay, like you just mentioned, should we grow? You know, or we should grow small at a time instead of just taking in a bunch of capital and going out and buying, you know, a lot of properties, so on and so forth. Like right now, I have actively, I had 18, but now I put 3 on the market. I have about 15 rehabs going on right now, all at the same time. And it's just like, it's madness.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's fun and it's exciting, but you know, what it forces you to do is build a process so the work becomes easier, and then you find the key people that you can put in place, and then you say, okay, well, we did that. Let's do 30 now. And it's always that challenge that's going to push you to grow. So like adversity being growth. But I definitely appreciate you sharing that with us and sharing it with your listeners. So I want to give a few plugs real quick. The company name is Stromberg Investment Group and Mobile Vested. And you can reach Glenn at Glenn Stromberg. Oh, no, it's Glenn at StrombergInvestmentGroup.com. Let's say Glenn have passive investment opportunities for investors. If you're a accredited investor, you can reach out to Glenn via email and see how you can become a strategic partner investing in mobile home parks. So anything you want to share with our listeners, any last thoughts you want to share with our listeners? This is the Passion for Real Estate Investment channel. We basically like, to share our ideas and thoughts with people who's new in real estate and people who is experienced. This is definitely something completely different. You're the first guest that I had on that had this type of investment strategy, so I'm pretty excited to get this out there.
Well, thanks. Yeah, and you know what I would say, well, first of all, we got websites for both companies, StrombergInvestmentGroup.com, MobileVested.com, but I believe this. I believe we've had a heck of a run here lately, right? The last 10 years, the charts show there's got to be some kind of a slowdown, reset type of deal. I've been wrong for 3 years, but I personally smell one coming. Okay, it can't keep going up forever. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Personally, that's why I love my asset class, because it is the most affordable housing. And whether people, no matter what happens out there, people are going to do two things. They're going to eat and have a roof over their head. And so, like in 2008, we had more people. We have a lot of people lined up for houses now. We had more people. So, I think it's I always encourage people to make sure you have a plan B. That's, if it does happen, what is your plan B? And how are you going to make it work if the market does shift? And as long as you got a good plan B, because I think I like to buy real estate in good times, bad times, all times. I think there's opportunity everywhere. And so it's just a matter of finding the right investments and like I say, just have a good plan B.
I'm gonna have to still it. I like the Bible say, good times, bad times, all times. Appreciate that. I'm going to add that. All right, really thank you for coming on today, man, and sharing your knowledge and experience with the group. You guys can catch us on iTunes, YouTube, Passion, the number 4 REI. Catch us on Twitter at Passion 4 REI, and also Instagram, Passion, the number 4 REI. Thanks, Glenn. I really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your wisdom and knowledge with the group. And,
My pleasure, Fuquan, and I appreciate you having me, and you're an awesome guy, man. Thanks a lot.
All right.